Did you get food?
Yeah. I had enough time to eat my burrito and 4 pieces of toast in the car.
4 pieces of toast with a burrito.
Well, it was 2 pieces of toast cut in half. You know what I'm saying?
It's triangle or square?
So it could have been 8 pieces of toast.
It was triangle.
16 pieces of toast or 32 pieces of toast.
What?
64
How could it
pieces
have
of
been
toast.
32 pieces of toast?
Just keep
2 pieces of toast cut in half. But
It
it was only cut half once. so it didn't reach 32.
So you only chose to cut it in half once.
Daniel's correct that I could have cut the toast more, and then it would have been more toast.
Hey, man, I just had 128 pieces of toast before I got
Holy shit.
I just had like 4.56 billion atoms of toast. I don't know.
Wow.
Of molecules of toast.
That's actually not a lot.
That's
of
not a
atoms.
lot at all.
It's
No,
probably
I know, that's
you probably want
It's
to
probably
get
like not even a bite.
more than 100 billion or whatever.
I couldn't think of a number higher than 4.6 billion.
4.7 billion.
Well, you could say like 100 billion.
Yeah, I know I could say
and
that.
You could go to a trillion.
I couldn't think of anything higher than a billion, so I just left it at that.
And you could go to.
But you
100
did though,
trillion.
because you went 4.6 billion. So you did think of something higher than a billion.
I couldn't think of a bigger ending word.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Okay, zillion. See,
Okay.
the zillion.
That's a
word?
lot. I don't know. I think it's a lot. Sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about.
No, I mean zeros. I think.
Stockfish would give this conversation a blunder.
Yeah. Welcome back to Mile High Chess. I am here, your host, Weston Taylor, with Daniel Herman, National Master, and Ben Deguire, chess coach, and he is the writer of Deguire's Digest,
Yep.
Denver Chess
I
Club.
would have thought.
Yeah.
What is Deguire's Digest, Weston?
Oh, it's like I guess it's a blog. I think it's a blog.
Basically. Yeah.
It's a digest.
A digest, a blog, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a column.
I'm just writing about chess and putting it on the Denver Chess Club website.
We're gonna try to do one,
Okay,
1,
alright.
2, and 3,
All right, Ben.
and then we'll.
Explain yourself.
No, he's supposed to ask me questions. What is his questions?
So okay, so Ben recently wrote an article on his digest about openings. And are you spending too much time on the openings? Are you wasting too much energy on your openings when you could be looking at 90% of the rest of the game?
Are you asking me specifically?
No, I was just saying that's that's what you did. How'd you feel like writing that? That was a pretty thorough paper.
I liked writing it. It was fun. It was fun to look at my games.
The link for the paper is in the description of the video.
What? The length of the paper?
Yeah, we'll put the link in.
The link.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It is.
I didn't hear
so
that.
please under
Video, Ben.
under the video, yeah, go ahead and click
Yeah, check it out.
to read Ben's.
Feel free to
The third
pause and
one's on the way. It's going to be
Feel
on
free
community.
to pause and read the entire paper before you come back to the video.
That's
No. Watch the video and then read the paper. And then watch the video again.
So you're pretty staunch about your opening opinions here. Of you don't. Oh, you say all the time openings don't matter, and you basically put that into words. You put your money where your mouth is.
I've said that often.
100%. I think we're all for is putting your money where your mouth is. And today you're really going to do it. So we're going to look at this first game here. We have Benny D with the white pieces against Will Evans. And I chose this game because two things. One, your recent opening digest was about openings and how little they matter, which would then mean that you are more into endgames.
Sure. Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate?
I prefer studying endgames. That's for sure. I just like playing chess in general. Tactics, strategy, middle game, end game. That stuff's way more fun than end games or than openings.
Do you think end games are more beneficial to an intermediate than an opening?
How do you define
It really just depends on who you are as a person and what your strengths and weaknesses are.
I'd say define an intermediate, somewhere between 12 and 1600.
Okay.
Maybe 1100 to 1600.
It's marginal
That's
gains.
That's a pretty wide.
Well, yeah. Well, it's intermediate. You're in the middle, right? You have this. you're going from a beginner to an
I
expert.
mean, like when you're 1300, you're already like better than people who don't play chess, like by a lot.
I mean, I would say when you're like 800, you're better than people who don't play chess.
It's
Like
true,
you're
too.
already in the 99 percentile for humans. So like it's all
Hey,
what?
stop slamming your mouse. So, I mean, yeah, well, 900 I think puts you better than most people, right? That don't play
Oh,
chess,
yeah. Big time.
right? So I would say like intermediate, like beginner. I would say, where do you think beginner ends? I would say maybe like 1,000, 1,100. 1,100 is like a super advanced beginner.
I think 1100 is still beginner. I think intermediate probably starts at like 1300.
Wow. Okay. So basically what you're saying is I go between being an intermediate and a beginner.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Cool.
That's funny. It's like, oh, looks like I'm a beginner again.
Yep,
like
that's-
loses one game.
I thought that was the whole premise of the show. We got a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced. Like,
Well, he's like getting closer to. I mean, I don't know.
he's on the edge of advanced.
Well,
You're
I
on
would
the
not.
edge of intermediate.
There's no way that I'm a beginner. I would say I'm an
and I'm
He's
like
not a
barely a master. I think it all makes sense. You know?
Okay. Oh, Daniel's so okay. So you're the pessimist of the show. Then is what you're saying.
Well, the better you get, the more pessimistic you become. The older you get, the more
Okay,
pessimistic you
I
become.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, grow
The
up,
wiser
Wesley.
you
Yeah,
get, the more
that's-
pessimistic you become.
Oh, right.
You know?
Anyway, so we go on to Ben's game here of what I was going with was his opening. So you are really good at endgames and you prefer studying endgames. So what I wanted to look at was how you, Ben Deguire, modeled this game through your openings into just going straight to an endgame. So we get a Sicilian here
Weird move.
by Will.
This is the Will
Alakine
Evans
Sicilian.
special.
Yeah, Will Evans. I've played this with Will Evans like 3 times now. And
Did-
each time I learn one move deeper. That's how I study openings. I learn one
That's
move.
a fine way to do it.
I was gonna
Yep.
say that's there. It doesn't seem like there's much wrong with that. There's so many lines that seems like at a point that's what you do anyways.
Like if you play the same person every time and you improve by one move every time, that's improvement.
1%,
Yeah.
baby.
what? Well, I don't know if it's technically 1% because it could be like a.
What's like
It's
like
actually
100 100 divided by
0.276%.
40 or 40 divided by 100 or something.
40 divided by 100 would be like 4%. No, that would be 40%.
This is what the people want answered. That's for sure.
Anyway,
What percent of a
we
move is
digress.
the game?
We digress. Excuse
know.
us. Okay, so 1903, we
So-
get the Will Evans special, and so
Chess is about math.
And so I learned. I played 94 last time, and he went F5 last time.
and he did it again this time.
Yep, but so I did one move better. So last game I played en passant in
So
this position.
is the game that you're thinking of. This is that game, the last time game.
Oh, this isn't my most recent Will Evans game.
No, this is a game that I chose this.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
because-
never mind.
No,
then,
that's
yeah.
okay. So in this is actually what I wanted to look at. So, yeah, you could take en passant here, and I picked this game out, and we can talk about what you played most recently. But
No,
This-
that's fine.
but this
I just
was
thought
like-
this was. I assumed this was the most recent one.
yes.
But
So
yeah,
this
this is cool
this
too.
actually, I thought this was the most Ben Deguire opening ever. We just went straight for an end game almost. Like you trade a bunch of pieces, and you play d4, and you try to like have the center resolved, and I mean and then you just kind of I don't know. You go for queen trade, and there you go. You have queens off the board by move 13.
There's like a lot going on in this position. I'll be honest. It's very tactical here.
Well, there is, but it also like it. But looking like for what the best moves were and what your best idea was, it goes straight into this end game, and it was like you just turbocharge into an end game by move 13, and you were like, okay, cool.
The reason why I did this is because when Black chooses to play this kind of setup and loses all their pieces so quick, Black's bishops are very hard to use. Look at this light squared bishop on c8.
White's position is suspicious here.
And it is a bit suspicious. I had to play a bunch of
After
only moves to
F4.
kind of keep everything together.
F4 seems like too much.
What would you play instead? I think that was like the only move.
I feel like it makes sense because the bishop and pawn are guarding each other, and you now have this ridiculous knight on an outpost.
You had to see this line if you were going to play this. I'm pretty sure this was all.
I mean, I guess my issue is you have two pieces out and you move in one of them twice. I guess like I don't know. I would look for something else here.
The idea is that I have like I'm trying to be really aggressive and take advantage of this diagonal. Like I'm trying to punish like black very hard for moving their f pawn.
And then you move your f pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move your f pawn.
Mm-hmm. And so Will finds the only move here, which is very important.
So this is like a big threat. This is your point.
Queen h5 as well. No, bishop d3 for sure, as well. I think bishop e2 might have been
looks
the
very
one as
nice.
well.
So you played.
No, yeah, bishop d3 is better. Just looking at it.
So he played what? He played
the only and best
played
move,
check.
queen e4 check.
So what's wrong with this?
I think maybe that's not the only move. You're right. That seems fine too.
If d pawn takes, and
then
you have to play. I guess black would have to play c4 here, but then you lose the pawn. So no.
Why?
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to.
I was like,
You don't have to. That, but that's probably one of your plans.
You want to control this square? That's your idea. Okay.
I mean, I guess you could check and then.
I still think you should
check. This position is
check.
pretty interesting. I guess White's play is like based on the queen.
And
I was actually just looking for a way to get this bishop out here. I don't know. That's why I would play. I mean, I wouldn't play this now, but at some point I would play c4.
My
So
point
if I
with
go
all
like
of this
this,
is
like,
that like
what's the
black is
point?
very hard to develop. Can't we still play this? Like we're threatening queen h5, right? Okay. And then maybe like castles
And castles and white looks.
a queen move and castles looks good.
Yeah, that looks fine.
And we have development, and once again, like this bishop's kind of weird, and the dark squared bishop isn't happy either, and black's not castled.
Yeah, and I feel like
F5
this
kinda
f5
feels
is a
scary.
really major threat.
I don't know. It's just a committal move, but I think it's justified by the queen.
You have to go queen e2 there.
Yeah.
If you block with the bishop, you lose everything.
Yeah, you lose your g2 pawn, and yeah, things are just bad news bears. Okay, but
So is this a free pawn?
It shouldn't be. Maybe it is. No, I thought I had something here.
you
No, that's checkmate. Yeah,
I was gonna say you couldn't play.
that's checkmate.
Oh,
Well, it's not checkmate, but like I'm gonna win the rook.
So that's the point.
He has to make a lift. Yeah, so it's not a free
This
pawn.
is a threat.
See, like look, all of these diagonal. This was the whole point of the entire opening. Was I'm trying to like punish this diagonal.
I'm
but
investigating.
But so instead of memorizing your moves, you understood exactly what you were doing.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never seen any position similar to this, so I'm just investigating.
You just
Um,
like
And
problem
it's also
solving
it's
and
not in
figuring
any elite
it.
chess player database either. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Figuring it out on the board. It's like openings is like teach a man to, like learning an opening is like give a man a fish. Learning how to play chess is teaching a man how to
D5
fish.
maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
D5 is good.
It's, if you,
once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
No, it's not. No, it's not that one. It's if you give a man to fish. If you give a man a fish. If you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. So if you give a man an opening, he wins one game.
If you give a man to fish, it depends on whether or not the fish is hungry and the size of the fish, or the amount of the fish, I suppose.
If you feed a man to a shark, then the shark eats for a day. But if you teach a shark how to catch men, then it eats men its entire life.
Huh? Why wouldn't it eat
What about
women?
D5?
This is a rough episode.
D5. All right, D5. Why not just en passant and then long castle?
Well, then
I
you're
like that
helping
a
me
lot,
develop,
Weston.
right? And then
No.
I
What is-
don't.
No, but black's structure is ugly. I hate it.
I know you. I know
And
you.
we're gonna
love
attack.
structure.
And we're gonna attack so quick.
yeah, like this.
You
is,
have this.
This
check
is good,
and then
Weston.
I
I
go
don't
here.
believe him.
Yeah,
I still think
I don't think
white's
this is that bad. Like I'm
for
threatening
favor.
It's just this bishop. You're gonna black takes a couple. I mean, it's not like it's crushing.
my argument is that white has weaknesses as well.
I mean, I don't think this is crushing. I agree. But I think it's a
Well, I'm just saying.
Good
Like, I
enough
think
position.
d5 might be better than bishop e7. Maybe.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because like with bishop e7, you're allowing white to trade off the bad bishop and then solidify control over the d file and the d6 square and the backward pawn.
And that was important in the end game.
Because that is what Benny D is playing for in the end game is the d file and the d6 square and the backward d pawn.
he wants the D. So let's take a look. Bishop e7. All right. I mean, this is like looks fairly
Yeah, white just has the advantage here.
right. This is incredible. You have the better bishop. Your rooks are connected. You're developed. I mean, this is you have the control over the center. Black is just kind of
White has the advantage, but
It's not actually so
it's
easy
just
to
one
win. Yeah.
one weakness, right?
Black can actually defend it, and so it's
Principle
actually
of-
hard to break through once everything's defended. It like looks good visually, but I didn't actually find the best way to kind of.
well. With the best way,
Breakthrough.
can't you just go like g4, f5, and bring these pawns on this
Well, you
side?
got to be careful on your own open file.
Yeah, there's the
So
weak
like
F
here,
pawn,
like
which
if you
gets
go
targeted.
g4 right away, that might be too fast.
I mean, maybe you could be. I mean, you put your bishop here, and then worst case scenario, you just trade rooks, and then you get a rook on the 7th.
Isn't there a king?
Okay,
right
that
there?
was a very generalized.
Well,
statement.
well, you have this bishop on this diagonal. You're pressuring this pawn here, and then you can come to this g6 square and
Okay, that's
pressure.
true, but let's talk about like concrete things that are going to happen. So like rook b8, like you're saying this move.
Yeah, I would no. I was saying just
Well, G4. Here.
G4.
Yeah.
G4, I can go here, right? What's the problem?
So that's what I was saying. Is I didn't know if there was a problem.
I think you're like not better anymore, because like
You
this is
can't
a
play
weakness and this is a
f5,
weakness.
take, and then
F5.
bishop here.
I can take and take, like f5 take. And
We
then
were
if you
just
take
making
back, I'll
weaknesses
take,
for
and then you
white.
play here, and then I take. Like
Oh,
We're losing pawns.
I think you're going too fast with your play.
oh, okay.
Yeah, you actually have to play extremely slow.
Okay, so all right, so you can't go g4 first.
So you might like want to lock down black's like break and then like double and then like bring the bishop around. Like it's very slow. Like sometimes you can play because
Okay.
like if you just control your opponent's counterplay and then you attack. This is
a
what
good point.
This is what
This is
like
what masters do?
positional players do.
Oh, what did you say earlier? If you're older, you're wiser. If you're wiser, you're more pessimistic. No, if you're a better player, you're more pessimistic. I see.
That's true too.
It was both. Yeah, if you're older and better, you're more pessimistic.
So this is the pessimistic way to go, is what you're saying.
I don't think it's very pessimistic. I just think it's
No,
like
it's
the
more-
right
it's
approach.
just-
I think it's the right approach. I don't know
Sorry,
about
that meant to be humorous. The because of Daniel's
Yeah.
multiple ways you can be pessimistic. So this is his. I'm a better player, so I'm pessimistic. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, it's a very
So what do you think then? Like alternatively, besides talking about like peace activity, because I feel like that is what we're discussing here. Like G3 be acceptable? Just creating a pawn structure, like
I think G3 is fine.
staying principled here and creating this pawn structure and then figuring out.
G3 doesn't harm anything.
Okay. And it just really only makes your position stronger.
I like-
G3's all right, but there's actually an even stronger move.
I like Ben's move. Yeah.
This move is good, but there's a really nice idea that the computer found here when I was kind of looking through this endgame. And I'm not sure exactly what move it was, but like Daniel said, you can just play this ultra prophylactically and like stop all of your opponent's counterplay. So one of the computer's top moves in this position was actually H4. It stops this. I don't know if it's exactly here, but the idea is that one of like Black's only ways to do anything this game is to try and chip away at this F pawn and get a file for themselves.
Okay.
And with this H4 move here, you're just shutting down any hopes of G5, any hopes of H6, G5, and actually attacking you
Breaking
anyway.
through. Wow.
You could play stuff like G3 at H4, and you just clamp down on the king side over here, and then you could, as Daniel said, just kind of then you could attack.
Oh,
You know, so that's the ultra prophylactic move, which I found really interesting here. I don't know if it's exactly on this move, but just around the time, like, see later on, he gets this G5 move, which is very annoying for me. And if I had committed to this H4 idea, he wouldn't have any such thoughts.
I see.
But yeah, getting back to the position, I played rook d6. He develops his bishop finally, and I do a nice little tempo move. I play rook d1 instead of recapturing his bishop first because he has to do this, put his rook over here.
And
then
why
I
is
take his
this?
bishop.
Why is this like such a substantial concession that Black is making?
Because the rook is losing activity. It's
Because the
just
rook
it has
wants
to
to
guard
be
the
on the
pawn.
F file, and so this rook is blocking this rook. Both rooks want to be on the F file, and they're both like having a bad day.
Right. They're both being used in defense.
They want to be on the F file.
White is attacking. White has more space, so therefore they have the time to do all kinds of plans that my plans weren't the best, but still. Rook takes. And it was probably here where h4 is the best move. I'm going to turn my engine on real fast.
I like
Sure.
H4.
H
I mean, you
H4 is
sold me
up
on
there.
H4.
It does like my move a little bit better, but H4 is a move that should be played around this time. Just clamp down on Black's position and don't give them any kind of breaks or anything. Because now, when we've gotten here, it's a bit annoying. Black's claiming a file for themselves.
White's
and,
still a little better because this rook is like never gonna play.
yeah, but Black definitely did well to fight me.
White,
And
Black has like a playable position.
yeah, Black recovered this very well.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and then
we,
you just
we
get a
have a,
tough
we have
rook
a rook
in
ending,
game.
and I like rook endings.
hmm Time is becoming a factor here, and we both don't really know what we're doing, I think. We're both probably at less than 5 minutes at this point.
Yeah, maybe don't let the rook on the second.
I was
Maybe-
committing to it. I was ready to go into a
Maybe
single
like go
rook
here
endgame.
first, or like here first and then here. I don't know.
Yeah, there's better improving moves to be made.
Or I don't know.
No, I think that makes sense. It still wants h4, actually. I threw the computer on.
I say H4 now. You could like really take up
Yeah,
the
there's
space.
actually a good plan here. If you get the pawn to h6, then this becomes like a big weakness that you can play against. This is like a thing that strong players do: is they drive home this nail, and then the pawn is already like close to queening, so this pawn becomes more of a target.
Yeah, I rushed a bit with king e4, I think. I don't know why I felt this in the game. I don't really see it now looking at the board, but it felt like Black was going to untangle soon and I needed to do decisive things. But I don't
Ah.
really think in that position I had to do decisive things like going king e4. Probably could have improved a bit more.
Maybe here is better. Just because.
Yeah, it stops f5 from
Because
happening.
I feel like now, when you trade off your active rook as Black, now White's rook can get active, and Black just doesn't have any activity anymore. As opposed to this rook is just kind of. Both of these rooks are kind of not in the game, but this rook is more active than this rook.
Mm-hmm. No, rook g1 makes a lot more sense, honestly. I think.
But I mean, it might be like this. It might be a draw. But, which was probably not what White wants as the higher rated player.
Yeah,
The
White.
player that's been pressing all game.
Yeah, it'd be tough to take a draw here. It feels like White should be playing for a win.
So now I like White's chances again.
Yeah, White has a
And then
center,
that's a
and
tactic.
that's a very nice tactic.
I just had to pray that this king and pawn endgame was winning, which it was, but I blundered a draw somewhere.
So this
In
is
the
an
scramble.
interesting moment.
Oh, you blundered a draw.
Somewhere.
I thought you said you had yours had the result as winning, White winning.
Well, like I blundered a draw, but he didn't take it because it was like a 5-second time scramble.
I see.
But like I was winning after this tactic that I played, going into
And
this
then
pure king
later-
and pawn endgame. But yeah, somewhere in here I blundered a draw and things got tough. But like we were both playing on the increment, so it's kind of hard to be accurate ever.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of like curious like what Black should do here. Like, is it this move or this move or this move? or all of the above, or none of the above.
I mean, there's a few. If yeah, b5 is a move. It looks like.
Yeah, and then there's like this move, which is annoying, and then like here, and then like, yeah, it's not fun. Maybe here now, like.
The rook on d6 looks nice, right? Can't we like swing over to h6 and win that? Like rook d6 to h6. Maybe I'm not showing enough respect for.
Can you just play
Black's
like
pawns.
rook c6 now?
No, I think that would.
Oh,
be
you have to be
winning pawn
careful
endgame.
about the king and pawn endgame.
That would
Yeah.
be winning
This is
for white, I
probably-
think.
It's scary for black to go into a
Because
king
black
and pawn
can't
endgame.
generate a passer. White already has a passer.
Oh.
Look at how active my king is. You know, you have to be very. That's the whole reason why I was like I got away with playing this tactic in the first place is because the only reason like this is winning for white is because my king is much better than black's king.
I see.
So yeah, like black in this position has to be extremely careful about the king and pawn endgame.
But yeah, this is a good move that I didn't really think about. Yeah, maybe this first, and then here, because if you go here right away, then I can do this. I think because this is not a passer.
Yeah,
Although
that's-
maybe somehow white is better, but I don't see it.
no, that's a better
No, because
version.
then you lose
It's
your.
a better version.
So
Yeah.
this might be like a finesse.
That's nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Can't
And then if
like,
you go like this,
Oh, never
like,
mind.
and then like I don't know, like this looks like extremely dominant. Like here,
Yeah, it feels like black's gonna get zugzwanged somehow in a position like this. Black will run out of moves eventually.
Yeah, this looks like a position that I would have a lot of trouble with over the board, just waiting for something to happen, trying to do nothing.
chess is about patience.
It is.
Okay.
And so the king of pot endgame was winning. I didn't do it the most efficient way. And
But you ended up winning the game, and
Yeah.
you know your opening decisions led you to an end game that led you to the style of game that you were more comfortable with, basically.
for sure.
I'm
Let's look
surprised.
at
I'm surprised this move doesn't lose.
what move?
This move.
It should. This might be the move that draws.
It's a
But
draw.
why is it not losing?
That's what I said too. I forget how. We
White's
we
just
push
in time.
C4
White's just in time
because it comes with
it's
check, which
It's
is
check,
nice.
Yeah. If the king were like not on this diagonal, then I think black would win.
Yeah. No, 100%. And that was my mistake was playing b4. I saw this and I told Will after the game actually. I was like, yeah, I thought I was lost after b4. But
Wow.
but I guess I wasn't. Hopefully I would have seen c4 though. Yeah, king f5 is much better.
Well, good job on the win either way.
There's a fun important move here. That was an only move here, folks. You got to see this one. I think this is a good endgame technique move. You go here. I thought this move was fantastic. The only move in this position is to play a5
Because you get
because you
an
get your
extra
pawn
tempo.
just one tempi faster. If you were to play king takes here, then all of a sudden it becomes a draw because black is in time to promote. But so instead you sack a pawn. And also black has a bishop's pawn, which you have to be very careful about. There's potential draws with bishop's pawns and queens.
And this is kind of like what you're saying too. The passed pawns protect each other. Obviously, this isn't against the king. Those two pawns weren't, but they protect each other. One gets taken, the other one just goes.
Dancers. And yeah, he resigned there. He accidentally bluttered that pawn. We were playing on the increment for a long time. So
Wow.
All right, Ben Deguire remains in the hot seat.
Yeah, and so
Sheesh.
here we looked at the way that not studying openings or not taking a whole lot of openings and just understanding the pieces get you to your end game, and now we'll look at the other side of it. I think.
I don't think I lost in the opening here. I lost. Well, I technically did lose in the opening, but Sean didn't play it the best he
This
could.
was an example of he had a bad opening, but then
Survived.
he was still sort of alive, and then he kind of came back, and then he lost.
And then I lost because I made a dove decision.
Yeah,
I chose to keep my structure the same. We could just look at it.
it's an example of if you know.
I have zero prep for the Alpine Sicilian folks.
See, so if you
The
don't study
delayed
your
Alpine
openings and
specifically.
so yeah, you make a retreating move.
You just need to like control the center with your pawns.
And that's what I tried, but I'd gotten to a bad position. Where'd I go wrong, Sensei
But then
Danya?
he ended up getting the full center
Well,
with
okay.
D4.
I mean, this move just like this move. Was
I knew when I played this, I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to really be making a retreating move when the center's fluid.
like
Right.
this.
No, this
I
game
don't
could.
really have a problem with your moves up to this point.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, when the center is fluid, meaning that like, white can play D4 and break things open whenever they want. You need to be very wary of taking a piece out of the center. I took a piece out of the center, and of course, that's the perfect time for someone to play like D4, for example. I took a piece out the center, therefore white should break open the center and attack me and try and punish me for being dumb. This is a fluid center. Nothing is locked up here. So things can open up, and this is just a really bad move. Passive.
Very passive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you probably saw like, oh, well, I'll play. It was almost like, yeah, you're
So-
like, I'm just gonna
So Ben,
do E5 and then
what if we like control the center with our pawns?
I thought about D5 the entire game. What did
Oh.
I not like?
Well, you're gonna get an isolated pawn.
Yes, I didn't like an
You're
isolated
You're
pawn.
gonna have to be okay with that and have active pieces for
Yeah.
a slightly compromised structure.
I didn't have the balls to play an IQP here. Does this not lose a pawn? Am I queen takes? I'm down a pawn.
Well, you're sacking it, right?
Yeah, how do I save it here?
But also, like, why can't we take with the knight?
Oh, yeah, we should take with the knight. That makes more sense.
And then we want to,
No, yeah, this honestly looks so much better than what I got in the game. Like, an IQP is so much better than, like
it's an isolated pawn,
suffocating
but it's also
myself.
a center pawn that you had that he doesn't have. Like, that's the advantage of IQPs that people don't talk about. Like, this pawn is actually controlling space for you.
Exactly, and it creates nice squares for my pieces. I can maybe use E4. I can maybe use C4. Totally agree. This looks so much better. I don't know why I was so scared to go into that end game.
But he's like he's already anticipating the battery, and he's like, I need to get my knight on F8.
Ultra prophylaxis when you don't need to. Look at how safe my king is now.
that king is safe.
Mm-hmm. It's a safe king at the cost of like the center, and white activates all of
And
the
then
pieces.
I remember this post mortem, you and Sean, and you were like, yeah, I saw knight C4, bro. I saw knight C4.
No, I had to. You have to see knight c4. If you're gonna put your queen on b6,
why-
you have to be ready for
But
knight
why
c4.
would you go
B5
queen
or
B6
what?
if you saw
But
knight
then-
C4?
The point
You
was I
just
didn't
can't do
see
that.
his follow up after I go back to
A4?
d8. So I meant
Oh.
this was in my head, and I thought I was just GM like testing him, because like all of
Wow.
everything else besides what he
That's
played
quite
is
the
like fine for
delusion
me.
during a game, by the way. I mean, I have a lot
What?
of delusions. I have a lot of delusions during my games when I lose. But you're GM testing him.
Mhm.
Damn.
The point is that if he doesn't play the move he played in the game, which I didn't even see or think about, which yes, that's on me for not seeing this move, but everything else is just totally fine for For white,
I have
for
a hard
black.
time believing that.
The point is that if he doesn't play d takes c5, I'm gonna have b5 with tempo.
So what if I go like this?
I'm luring the knight to c4 with tempo. Oh, that's fine. Oh,
like the
I'll
Bononi
take and then
sucks.
come back.
Like the Bononi sucks.
I'm not afraid to play knight b8 here.
Okay, I mean this
Oh,
this
dude,
is like
that's-
I love this position for white. Like,
Did you have bigger balls than I did if you're not afraid to play knight b8? That would sack a knight before I put it back on b8.
I'd never.
like you're on the couch here, Ben. Like
Yeah. I'll develop, hang a pawn, and everything else.
And everything else.
All right. I didn't see a4 either. a4 is a good
But,
refutation
D5
to my
is a
plan.
move, A4 is a move. Like I
Wait,
don't-
hold on.
I don't think you should ever play Queen B6 if you see Knight C4.
Let's see if d5, could we play b5?
So
queen back to D8.
D5 B5. Let's see.
Yeah. This is also the point was I want
And
the
then I
knight
go
to come to
here, and this
c4.
pawn's
I was
hanging.
trying to get the knight to c4, and I'm like, what's the big deal? Do I push again?
Well, I was gonna say, could you redevelop though? So go back to the.
It's not that bad. I don't think this is that bad for
Let's
black.
say like Like here, you can't just play this. No,
Your knight's
takes
hanging.
E6.
The
Oh,
knight's hanging.
oh, then my bad.
Yeah, like knights are hanging.
But if he
I
goes to
move my
A3,
knight, you
I
gotta move
have-
your knight. Okay, so
I'll push,
so
and then I'll play
B4,
knight A5.
Here, knight A5, right? That's what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
And I don't think this looks that bad for black. I played queen B6
I mean, this
back
looks
to
really
D8.
good for white.
I don't think it looks that bad.
Like you're on the side.
What-
here,
See,
like-
I'm a
Well,
chess
what is so
optimist,
horrible
and
about
he's a
that,
chess
though?
pessimist.
So
well, you don't value space. Like
yeah, but
you
what
need
is
to
so,
work on
what?
that.
But what is white gonna do?
So what is yeah?
They're
like,
gonna
what is so
what are we
horrible-
scared of?
position and beat you. That's what
You're gonna what?
But I don't understand
slowly
what
build
is
the position.
what is this? How is this like so bad though? Like what?
Well, I think it's like +1.5. That's my guess.
Okay, but so okay. Well, I mean, what does white play there? Like bishop bishop
I'm
A4
just
or
gonna
what?
build my position. It's not like immediate.
But I can build my position now too because I've played moves like B5 and
Like,
broken out.
where is your play?
I'm just gonna develop my pieces and be a turtle like I always
How
do.
are you going to develop your pieces?
I'll put the bishop on B7 or A6. Oops, fucking trackpad. Sorry. I'll put the bishop on A7. Where are
I
we?
think you need to like understand the limitations of the Benoni a little more. That's what
This
I think.
isn't the
This doesn't
Benoni.
seem that bad.
It's the Benoni structure.
Interesting. I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think this. See, I also play that. I think, like playing that London the way I play the London, like looks like something I would get in that, and it does. This isn't that bad. This is hard for white to play, in my opinion.
Why?
I don't know. It just is. When I get these types of positions in the London, my opponents.
You guys need to value space more.
All right, how about this? E5.
Okay.
Whoa.
Now I have like the square maybe.
I'll take. And my pieces have squares. I'm like not bummed about this
But
at
I
all.
have space.
Bishop A6 and knight C4 are coming. But like you
okay,
like
alright, so
prove to me
I'll
your
go
space is
here.
good. Like prove it. All right. I'll go bishop A6.
I'll guard this thing.
He'll guard.
Where's
Queen
your knight
D7
going?
maybe.
Where's your
Maybe the
bishop
knight
going?
could come to F4.
Okay. All right. I don't think I really care. Oh, I hung a pawn. Okay, let me guard the pawn first. Maybe here, and then here.
If queen there, why can't you just?
I'm loving that, Weston. See? It's not that
Well,
bad.
Look what my queen is doing to your pieces. I don't know.
I'll take.
So yeah, trade, and
This I really.
And
have a hard
black's
time
getting
believing this.
out. Black's getting out, folks.
yeah, this is like this is
Here,
yeah.
Like, aren't you losing materials?
I'll take.
And I'll take.
Yeah, I probably couldn't do that. I'll push. And honestly,
I'm up in exchange. Like,
you're up the exchange, but honestly, like, I still like think it's fine for black.
Why?
Hold on, I want to see what I turned my engine on. I want to see what the eval is. So black's. So this is actually minus 0.4. This is a mistake. He's a mistake.
Well, yeah, that was done by me.
Well, there was a lot of tactics that went on. We were playing kind of fast, but
Yeah.
Queen A4 was kind of like special needs, but okay, C4 was fine. Yeah, okay, don't play that move. That hangs a pawn. Rook B4, Queen A3. This is actually a good move. And then you can go here.
Yeah.
And what if I take? Oh, this is hanging. Wow.
And so
Yeah.
this is
But you have to
actually.
justify it with tactics too.
Also
Like,
putting like yeah, the
That's what I do,
computer in
baby.
a lot of these positions like really likes this rook at the very top of a pawn chain, in the middle of the board. Like very often.
I still think you need to like not play Queen B6 if you see Knight C4. Like I don't understand. Like
I mean, it's probably better to not do that, but
I didn't see his follow up of D takes C5 opening the
So-
position.
but I don't think that's the only.
well, so
move that's good.
instead, can
That's
you
my
play?
point.
Well, we just went down
Can
the
you
other
play
line and it was
B5 here?
fine.
B5. B5 makes more sense than Queen B6.
Yeah, no, I thought about B5 here too.
I mean, I feel like you just may as well if you're pushing all these pawns, you may as well just
Yeah, I like B5.
keep taking space and.
No, that was on the like top of my head when I was doing this.
Okay.
game. I wish I played B5. It was better.
All right, let's
Hmm.
lay off poor Ben. Take. Okay.
What do you mean? Let's. I was defending the guy.
I know.
That
No, I'm
was-
talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. Okay.
I'm like
here.
undisturbed. I wasn't disproved.
No, but you were like.
No, I told you the whole time. This whole position was 5. This whole line, I was totally fine with that.
You're like losing.
But like
how did you get
the
back-
engine says I'm better here.
How did you get back
You're
in the
better
game?
where?
I want to see how you got back in this game. Let's see.
The engine says you're better where? I don't understand.
Okay, D takes C5.
Weston said it was like minus 0.4 when we were looking at the
Yeah,
other
when I
engine.
played Queen A4, which was a bad move.
Well, you messed it up.
Okay. Okay. Would it have been better to trade queens here for white? I guess not, huh?
No. Never trade when you
White
have
has
space.
Like
White
the
has
rook's
space,
coming
yeah.
to the open file with
Okay.
a tempo.
All right.
Yeah, and now I'm in a coffin. Now I was like positive I was going to lose.
See, I don't understand where you're drawing the line. Like between this position and the other position, they both look the same.
No, I don't have squares for my pieces in this position. In the other position, I have B5, and I have tons of squares for my pieces, and it wasn't a big deal. I
don't
can
understand
develop
the
naturally.
difference.
Well, I just said the difference. I have squares for my pieces.
They
There's
both
no
look- they
there's
both
no
look- they
squares
both
for my
look-
pieces
One
in this
is more
position.
difficult to play as a human.
What?
I think one is more difficult to play as a
Yeah,
human.
for like a human,
I
this
thi-
is so much harder.
or for a non-national master.
Where do you put your pieces? Yeah, like black's pieces suck, but in the other position, you get like decent squares for your pieces. Like this is just AIDS. Sorry, I shouldn't say AIDS. Oh God, I need the trackpad. All right, so
Okay, let me think about this. You're saying that this is harder to play than the other position.
100%, in my opinion.
You just like closed positions more or something. I
No,
guess.
this is harder than the other position.
for
This
white.
is like
Can
way.
you do
white.
This is
Like,
horrible.
Is this playable?
Yeah, it looks like you can play that.
No, isn't there just rook over? No, it's probably similar.
White's doing really well.
The
here.
knight comes to d6. This looks scary.
Yeah, but I thought white was doing well like in every position. That's where we're differing. So take, and then like here, like I'm not saying black's position is good, but I just don't understand the difference between this and the other thing.
Well, I said it 3 times.
And
Well,
I don't.
There's
agree.
squares for the pieces.
I don't
There's no
agree.
squares for
There
these
were no
pieces.
There were no pieces for the squares in the other position.
No, look at all these squares. There's a5. There's
They're on the
a6.
rim.
There's a rook on
They're
b8.
On the rim. This bishop is bad. This knight is like your only good piece. Your rook's like I have more space. Like I don't understand what you don't understand about that.
But I think this one there's
Yeah, I
more,
don't know.
there's more space for. I agree.
Yeah,
with
black
that.
has
A
so
rook
much more
E4
like
and,
space.
and he has a little bit of counterplay.
Look at the quality of this knight.
Yeah, no, yes, okay, like one piece is bad, but then in
the
this
and the
position,
quality of
40,
this
like
position.
okay, so all of my pieces are bad in this position,
And-
and then in this position, there's like 2 or 3
And then
bad
this,
pieces.
but
There's like 1
this
or
piece
2.
is bad. This piece is bad. This piece is bad. This piece is like.
Okay, well, I disagree. I would say like these pieces are like slightly better than the ones in this position. Like this,
Yeah, like
this
I
bishop
hung
on
my
my
c pawn.
pieces are
Like
pressuring.
let's go to like this position. I think this position is like what I mean.
Sure,
Yeah, like I'll guard.
my pieces have jobs and are doing
I'll
things.
guard my pawn and then go here or something.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I think that's this rook b4 move is really why this
I don't
position's
I
really
don't
nice.
I don't think rook b4 is like anything to write home about.
Okay, now you can see if like
What?
you hang the rook.
Hang the rook.
Excuse me?
I mean, you could probably just go back. Rook b. Yeah, I would say that's probably okay.
I
And
hung my a pawn. I need to stop hanging.
No, hold
pawns. Let me go here maybe.
see, so Daniel hangs a piece every single move he plays in this position, and he's trying to tell me it's like so
I'm
much
playing
worse.
blitz, like I understand long term if I actually think about my moves.
And now
that
just
I'm
rook
better.
b6. You just come back.
Yeah.
You come back. You play rooks or queen c7 and rook b8, and
I think there's just
That's your
like
plan.
so much more play here than like the other one. I don't know
I
why
disagree.
Daniel
Like,
disagrees
you
so
have no
hard.
play.
and then I think even like if you trade, like, can't you just play like A takes and
I'm not gonna trade. I'm gonna like double. I'm gonna slowly improve. My knight's coming here.
well, so is okay.
I'll go like queen d7, like rook b8. Like, we can do the same things.
I just think this is like the same amount of bad as the other position where that happened. Like, I don't understand.
Let's see let's see what the engine thinks. Well, go back to that one. Where was the where was that previous position? Was it this?
Like, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like what I was saying is you see on the dark squares, queen c7, you just lock this down and you're fine.
Hmm?
What was your move here? You said knight f5. That is the best computer move, but then rook eb8 and well, my bad.
Still rook eb8.
You can still play this.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna trade off your rooks, which are like your only good pieces.
Yeah, but then after that, what does white have? You have
Space.
this bishop here in the middle and
Space.
queen's on the same.
Space. Here, like my pawns are farther up. I'm gonna die on this hill.
You are gonna die on this hill.
I don't even know what he's seeing.
I love this though, because this is. I know the way I play the London is so weird, and it gets into these types of positions. So I love that Daniel's like, this is much better, but the computer's like, no, it's more close to even.
It's freaking
And
fine.
I like
Exactly.
This. I like this.
I'm so much worse than the other position. It's like,
yeah. Like, do what? Would I lose to Daniel in this position 100 times?
Sure.
Out of 100?
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
I'll lose
but
this. But like,
Stockfish
I'm gonna
says
go
it's
like
even.
this.
I could
Exactly.
if I studied this for a year and a half, I could then beat Daniel 5 times in a row, probably, if he never looked at this ever again. This position, and only this position, every day for a year and a half is what I mean. I don't mean like
Wake
if I
up
studied
every day.
Every day.
Think, all right, rook eb8. Let's go. Rook eb8. Rook eb8.
Every day, like, and then finally, here comes Herman. Like, you're mine, Daniel. We're gonna go this position.
Yeah.
And then somehow I win. And then that's it. I quit chess
But
forever.
look, black has spots for their pieces. This is what I've been saying like 30 times over. There are spots for these pieces,
Where are
and
the
then in
spots?
this, they're on their spots. Are you fucking serious? Is he? Oh, sorry, folks. Daniel had his eyes closed the entire time. Like the pieces have spots. Look at this
I hear
position.
the words that you're saying, and they don't match.
Where? Okay, so this bishop has one square. This bishop's so happy on d7. This rook's so happy on a8.
This bishop has one square. This bishop has one square, and then.
Yeah, so it's much
go
worse.
We'll go back to here, and then this bishop is like this knight is on the rim. This bishop is over
pressuring
here on the
c4.
rim. No,
and this knight is pressuring c4. These rooks are contesting a file.
They're on the rim. This bishop
Bro,
is blocked in by
he
this
lives
pawn.
in Prince. When did he become like so principled?
I
A knight,
don't know.
a piece touches the rim, bro. A piece touches the rim, and now it's a
also,
bad
though,
piece.
But these aren't just on the rim though. So if we're talking about
They
that,
have
so-
jobs, and it's a closed center.
Well, so okay,
It's
so
like-
not only that, but like the only open file, both of these pieces have squares on. Like it's not like they're in the corner doing nothing. They're actually on
They
the
have
the
jobs.
most open
Exactly.
file.
It's a closed center. We're playing on the flanks.
I mean, is it the best position? Daniel?
No, yeah, I'm
But-
not saying it's good, but it's so much better. It's like 100 times better than the other position.
Like if 2 players with the exact same rating, I would take the more experienced person in this one, because the person with less experience probably would be like, oh, I'm just way winning, and then thought they could do whatever they want, and well, the trick would be on them.
Get tricked.
Okay. So, in this game, you actually you did lose. You lost here, and this is this is a Spring Classic game. So this is part of our Spring Classic review, which we will get more to in a next episode. But for right now, this is our Spring Classic. review,
It was
and Daniel
just
is
2 Ben games, and that's it.
No.
God damn.
I have one more. I
Oh,
have
good,
one more game for me, and then yeah.
Good.
So okay, so. We'll move on to the
Spring
next
Classic,
game,
baby.
so we don't waste all of our time here. So this is like the millionth time I played Shirley, and I had been playing the Queen's Gambit Accepted. I used to play the Queen's Gambit Declined, but I got frustrated with it because it wasn't fast enough for me. It didn't trick that many people, so I moved on to the
There's more to
QGA.
chess than going fast. There's more to the chess than tricks.
Tricks.
And that really pains me. I mean, it does. It's just really, really painful. And so we talked about the opening.
Chess is not street magic.
It's whatever you want it to be.
It can
If
be.
Weston
maybe.
wants to be a magician, let him do it. When I grow up, I want to be a magician.
I want to be David Copperfield and not the Charles Dickens guy.
All right, so this is the Deguire. It's not a good opening, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So knight e5, and so I think
95 is a weird move, but it looks like
It is
it's
a weird
been
move.
played by strong players.
right, and I just had to immediately take it because I mean I don't know if I had to, but that's
all
what I thought.
14 strong players did. So
Oh, okay. Well, awesome. D takes. And then so here we're speaking about openings, and I
really
had
felt like I was better. Interesting.
yeah, but I really had no idea of what I was doing. This is not prep for me. This is, but this I just
Why did
felt
you
like
feel like you were better?
because this looks like it's. I mean, I have
One
a
piece
D
developed, pawn in the center.
Right. One and his pawns are or her pawns are split. And it looks like I have a decent threat of C5 at some point, and I'm gonna have a decently comfortable time developing
Okay,
my
so,
pieces.
Like you have this pawn here, and I have this pawn here. Like that kind of cancels, right?
Does it? I mean,
And a bishop developed. Don't sleep on this guy.
right.
Vsauce music plays. Does it?
I feel like I could just play like E6, and this pawn is not really.
Okay, so queen b3, and she's taking advantage of the fact that your bishop is developed.
Yeah, and I sat here for a long time, and I think this is where, yeah, if I had studied openings and like maybe messed around with this for a very long time, like this particular opening, maybe I would have been okay just going rook b8, or I think
Did
there's
go rook b8.
oh well okay, playing a5 or bishop d7 or something. So a5. And just allowing this.
Okay, so it's like a gambit. Okay, that's a weird move. Queen a7,
So where'd you go with the queen?
c6. Okay, I've made your bishop go back. Now I go to d5. You got to move your bishop again, or I can just take your. Now I'm up like 2 pawns.
It's a lot of queen moves.
It
It is a lot of queen moves.
It is a lot of queen moves. You are up 2 pawns, 100%. But I do have a
Okay, so
a
like
decent enough compensation.
E3.
I feel like. I think I can make the queen move again.
Queen f4.
And let's see.
I'm
And
2
now-
moves away from castling. I'm about to reach the extraction point.
I mean, can I play this and fianchetto maybe?
That's pretty slow. You're
I
playing
like
your
checking
gambit.
castles, honestly.
You got to go fast when you're playing your gambit. All right, bishop d2.
And I'll just castle here. That's my move.
Just castles?
Yeah.
Okay, just castles, and then like knight c3 maybe. No, never trade that.
No, never trade that.
The knight comes into b4 with tempo.
And knight c3.
Okay. And
I think you're struggling to find compensation.
you just-
Bishop e7 and knight b4. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't see that much. Bishop e7, like tempies.
Bishop e7 makes sense.
Bishop e7.
so
Maybe
And
the
then,
knight can
I
come
was
to
gonna castle
b4.
queen
This
side,
pawn's
although
hit.
it's a little risky. I was gonna castle queen side.
and you can castle queenside. So the engine actually wants knight b4 here.
Knight a3.
Mm,
Yeah, I expected knight b4.
that makes more
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
And
Yeah, and
And
I can
this is
see
what the
I can
engine
see
wants.
some comp here. It is 2 pawns though.
and then then the engine just says basically,
Bishop d2. Okay,
Mm.
sure, I like that.
it wants that.
That's
Um,
logical.
Because you're being a bully with a queen trade.
Yeah.
You're up 2 pawns.
Yep. Black though undeterred just goes queen g5
Yeah.
and
h4.
yep, and that's what and
Queen f5.
yep.
Okay. And black has some play, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, you're struggling to find compensation.
Well, I'm struggling against you. I mean, it's not like I'm like struggling against
Okay, all right.
another beginner
All right,
intermediate.
we're off base again.
Another beginner.
So anyway, the point is that if I would have studied, this type of opening and in a lot of depth and understood kind of what White's just immediate obvious plans are, I would have maybe had something like a5. But I chose to defend, which I thought was the most natural, obvious move.
It's the top master move too.
Yeah, and it just seems like the most
Okay, so
logical.
she's making a lot of queen moves.
Yep.
She didn't even take a7.
No, which I was really surprised about.
I mean, it's a risky pawn to take.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so just this here.
So now we got this whole number going on.
Yeah. What do you mean, like this whole number?
I don't know. We got our bishops out, just
Oh,
hanging out.
yeah. And so, I mean, again,
Okay, f3 looks really ugly.
I thought f3 looked really ugly too. And I believe was it here or is it?
This is the
Yeah,
moment.
this
You
looks
have the
like you're just
choice.
winning.
You have the choice of knight e3 and knight c3, and this was a really
Well,
fun
look at
position
this-
to look at.
Yeah.
The square. Like,
So, right. So we
look
get
at this photograph. Or
But here's
look
the
at
question,
look at
Daniel:
this square.
e3 or c3? Where are you going?
E3.
That's what that's what me and Weston played too, and it's wrong.
well. It's actually it's equal.
Oh, it's equal.
But so remember, it's
Oh.
it's
One is
the-
dynamic and the other's not.
It's static. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one's a little bit more static, but it's like the opposite of what you think. Because knight c3 looks like it's a little bit more static. I think is what we.
Like, I just don't understand how white develops their king side after this.
That's what I was thinking when I wanted to play that move as well.
So she
But
played.
then white gets an
she
attack
played
in
rooks-
this line.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
white gets
so
a
white gets
massive
this
attack
attack.
somehow.
C8, and then knight c4.
I played rook c8.
Knight c4, queen b7.
I played b5, and
No, don't trade queens in this position. Don't trade queens. Yeah, she found a tactic.
she found a tactic.
Yeah, queen b7.
This was also the night we got robbed. So
Okay.
this also, but okay. So
Good
the-
excuse.
So there's like what? Hold on. Instead of this, there is one very clear winning move. All the other moves are drawn.
Is it not rook c8? Yeah, this move like shocked me when I saw it. I'm like forgetting even the point of it too. Honestly, we can't.
I mean, a5. The point is you're
All
gonna.
right, the answer is a5.
You're gonna,
The answer is a5.
You're gonna break over the center because white can't develop their king side.
Right. So you just open the floodgates, basically.
Allowing like rook c6.
These
and
pieces,
stuff.
Yes.
these pieces are not playing, and now queen b5. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the b file is just being forced open.
Yeah, and you force your queen trade.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like this is
King d7.
Nothing, 'cause,
and
yeah, you
all-
just- it's
like
it's-
look
yeah.
at white's pieces that aren't playing.
they're just all on the couch.
I think knight a3 is like what I would play still.
So the alternative would be knight c3, and now you start getting more things moving around.
And then a5.
Uh,
Like it's the
yep.
same idea, right?
Yep, same idea. And then white's only move here is knight c4. And after queen a7,
Wait, can I
yeah,
do this?
now you en passant.
And then I take,
Take the knight,
and then I take.
and then I. Oop.
You take this,
And
and then yeah, here. No, I can't. I can't even go here.
C5 is coming. Well, can you come back to bishop f2?
Okay. yeah.
Bishop f2 looks like a move.
That I needed some move. That kind of looks like one.
that's fine.
Yeah, black's up a pawn. With an attack.
Yeah. Castles is coming. The queen's in the center. The king's in the center.
Yeah, and White's play is just kind of limited.
So the point is that
A5.
f3 makes it hard to develop these things, and so you should play a5 at some point.
What does Feingold say? Never play f3, or never
Yeah.
play f4. Yeah.
f3, f6. All right. So we blundered a tactic. Well
Blundered a
spotted.
tactic, and then
And the game
and
ends.
then the game ends.
Well spotted.
Yeah, very well spotted.
And then wait, what the heck happened?
I mean, I don't know what happened after that. I think I just went unconscious and just played some moves, and that's just what happened.
The tilt mode activated.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I would like still give myself a good chance here against her. Like I'm down 3 exchanges, but the knight's still here.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, that is kind of funnily true.
I'm down
There's
3
just-
exchanges, but my knight is worth 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's actually like kind of wild that you can play something like that.
And then I'm gonna go here and like take this. I don't know, or like check.
There's like a5 maybe too and stuff. Yeah, check better. Check is good. Yeah, that's hilarious actually. Black's still playing down the whole rook.
Yeah.
But-
So
I wouldn't have seen that line either. I wouldn't have. I would have seen.
No, I
like
mean white
that,
is like completely winning, but
But
yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
practically, like maybe I would have a chance.
Yeah. So
you know, with beginners, anything can happen.
that
you
is
know?
true.